Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to a key session that will set the stage for all our discussions today. As global travel changes, new ideas and shifting traveler expectations are completely reshaping the tourism industry. Right at the center of the change is the Muslim travel market, which plays a major role in driving new growth and opportunities worldwide. To lead this discussion, please join me in welcoming Ms. Raudha Zaini, Director of Operations at CrescentRating and HalalTrip, together with our distinguished panel of experts. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause, please.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Welcome to the Halal and Travel Global Summit 2026. Happy to see all of you this morning. Thank you for taking your time out of your very busy schedule to be here today. The industry is at a real turning point. 196 million Muslim travelers in 2025. By 2030, our prediction is it's going to reach 262 million Muslim travelers with a total travel expenditure of $310 billion US. So the market is growing, the expectations are growing, the influence is growing. The question here that we're going to answer today is the industry keeping up? Today you're going to hear from experts who are working on exactly that. And before we get into the panel sessions lined up today, I want to give you a sneak peek of what's in store. Joining us for this teaser session is two speakers, Dr. Nurhafihz Noor, Senior Lecturer at James Cook University, Singapore. His research covers services marketing and the ABCs, AI, behavior, and culture. He has authored over 50 publications and is a leading scholar in AI service robots and halal markets. He was recognized as the CrescentRating Halal Travel Scholar of the Year in 2025. Joining him will be Dr. Jens Thraenhart, an internationally recognized tourism strategist, author and keynote speaker with more than 25 years of global leadership experience. He is founder and CEO of Chameleon Strategies, strategic advisor to the Saudi Tourism Authority, former CEO of Barbados Tourism Authority and the Mekong Tourism Coordinating Office, and a board member of the UN Tourism Affiliate members. Please, let's invite them to the stage. Welcome, Dr. Jens, Dr. Nurhafihz. How are we feeling today?
Not too bad, yeah. Honestly, a bit sleepy because another global event is happening now, which is the World Cup, right? But of course, this is equally important, yeah.
So you stayed up for the match?
Yes, yes. So just like soccer, travel certainly bring us together, right? Yeah.
Passion still there. Dr. Jens, how are you feeling?
Doing great, thank you, and great to be here. It's been a while since I've been back to Singapore, so it's always good to be back. And I watched the game yesterday in the morning, so so I tried to not to go too crazy on that.
Okay, that's another topic we can talk about. Okay, so each of them have full sessions later on. So without giving away too much, let's get them to share a little bit more about what you can expect. So we'll start with Dr. Nurhafihz. So tell us a bit more about what we can expect on your panel sessions on AI and marketing.
So I'll be having the session later with Fateh, right, who is an industry expert in the AI sector as well. Some of the things that we'll be talking about are the role of AI in better understanding Muslim travelers. We'll also be looking at the critical role of AI and brands and how brands can use AI to better demonstrate trustworthiness, which we know is a critical component, especially in today's climate.
Yeah, very cool. I think in your nature of work and what you do day to day, you spend a lot of time looking at unmet needs, what Muslim travelers actually want and what they actually get. So without giving away too much, right now, what's the gap that really frustrates you the most?
I think one gap that has always been critical is the knowledge gap, and that's the gap between what managers think Muslim travelers want and what Muslim travelers are really looking out for. So that has always been a challenge to really identify. And with AI in the picture, it just makes the discussion really more in-depth and more insightful. And hopefully later we'll get a chance to further talk about this. Yeah.
Really cool. I think personally I'm looking forward to really deep diving into your session because we've talked about it, AI a lot, but really how does it apply to Muslim travelers? I'm really looking forward to that session. So Dr. Jens, what are you looking forward to in Dr. Nurhafihz's session?
Well, I'm not too much in Muslim travel, but I've been just exposed over the last 2 years, was in Saudi Arabia, and learned a lot about really the Saudi outbound market and what is required for other destinations to host Muslim travelers. And there are a lot of specifications, and Fazal and I had a lot of discussions around that as part of the UN Tourism Affiliate Members Network to see how destinations can understand Muslim travelers and make them feel comfortable, because there is still this gap, as you mentioned, in terms of knowledge, but also in terms of implementation.
It's very relevant to your session actually, which we will unpack a little bit more about the Asian Muslim Traveler Outbound Handbook, insights from that report. Maybe you want to share a bit more about what they can expect for your session?
Absolutely. So I think Fazal and I were very excited to unveil a hobby project that came about at the UN Tourism General Assembly in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia last November, where we said most of the UN Tourism Affiliate members, and there's a representative from UN Tourism here, are in Europe. But there are huge potential really for non-governmental or ministerial organizations to get together and collaborate and then connect with the public sector. And so we said, well, what can we do to increase the exposure of UN Tourism affiliate member or the network in Asia? Obviously there are members already, like Crescent Ratings, like Chameleon Strategies and other ones. But still, the exposure in Asia is very limited. So we said, well, you know what really is the world looking for to learn, especially in a time of change with geopolitical challenges, with AI, with climate change, with sustainability. And we said there is still a big gap in terms of Asia outbound markets. Fazal told me yesterday, 80+%, probably it might be even more, of Asian outbound travelers actually are, connected to Muslim travel. When you look at Indonesia, but also West Asia, Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, Kuwait, etc., etc. So, but this handbook is not about Muslim travel. It's really about the Asian outbound markets. But normally when you look at Asian outbound markets, what you hear about is China, Japan, maybe Indonesia, and India, maybe a couple other ones, Korea, that are thrown in there, but that's it. So we said, well, let's look at all the other markets as well that are emerging. We obviously didn't use all the markets like Laos, Cambodia, Timor-Leste is not included, Brunei is not included. But we looked at 26 markets, and this has never been done before. So for tourism boards, hotel companies, attractions, restaurants, retail, anybody that's looking to attract Asian markets, this will be a handbook. It's not an academic handbook, but it's something for practitioners. So we have a comprehensive handbook, which is over 400 pages. And then we have a condensed version, kind of like an executive summary, which is around 60, 70 pages, which is free for download. And in addition to that, we're also launching a platform called Asia Travel Trends, where you can actually download this, but also where you have more resources available. So all of that will be unveiled today.
Very exciting. Dr. Jens will be speaking on 2 panel sessions today with different experts talking about insights in this report. So you talk about how this handbook is for practitioners. So next question, so you've worked with destinations all around the world, and when it comes to this Asian Muslim outbound traveler segment specifically, what's the assumption that destinations keep making that the data just does not support?
Well, I'll give you an extreme example. I used to be the CEO of Barbados Tourism, which there are Muslim people in Barbados actually. There's a whole association, but in the end, attracting Muslim travelers for, let's say, Caribbean markets has not been a priority, let's put it this way, even though it's been seen as potential. So I would classify it as maybe fear. You know, if your hotel or destination and suddenly you have Muslim travelers arriving, you're like, okay, what do I do? I heard something about, well, you know, pork cannot be served, or there needs to maybe other amenities in the room. But that knowledge gap then sometimes leads to destinations or hotels or other travel providers trying to say, well, you know, what are the segments actually that we're comfortable with, and ignoring the Muslim segment.
Right, okay. So you work with destinations at the highest level, and we're looking forward to seeing what the ground level view of Muslim travelers are today, how they actually decide, how they trip plan, and what they decide to spend on. So if you're in business of constructing this segment, you have to make sure you stay tuned for the sessions. Okay, rapid fire question. It's 2050, the industry has finally gotten Muslim-friendly travel right. What's the one thing that has changed, Dr. Nurhafihz?
Well, first, the one thing that would remain unchanged is Halal in Travel Global Summit 2050,
Wow.
right? Hopefully that would happen. Yeah. And I think, or hopefully the one thing that would have changed is we no longer necessarily talk about faith-based needs. That becomes a norm, a parity amongst brands, and we talk more about innovation, experience. Yeah. So that's something that I hope we can look forward to.
Yep. Cool. Dr. Jens, how about you?
Maybe let me answer this question slightly different. I think 2050, obviously a lot can happen in 2050, but I think right now travel companies, from destinations to hotels and everything in between, are still looking at marketing in a very traditional way, you know, segments, you know, and source markets. But I think when you travel, what you're looking for is really something that moves you, where there are emotional connections. So I'm writing a book right now, what I call passion tourism. And I think in 2050, what I envision is that marketing will shift in a way that when you travel somewhere, that you're looking to go there to live your passions, whatever that might be. If it is bird watching, if it is stargazing, if it is calligraphy, all these segments, if you want to call it that, are merged into something, because we're all human beings and we all want to use travel as a way to connect and transform our lives.
Interesting, very cool. So 2 different panel sessions, different disciplines, multiple perspectives, but honestly the same challenge running through all of it. So the market is more sophisticated than the industry gives it credit for, and the gap between the travelers, what the travelers expect and what they actually experience, is still very wide, and that's what today's summit is all about. So their full sessions are coming up later. I'd encourage you to be in the room. Thank you very much, Dr. Jens, Dr. Nurhafihz. We're going straight into the first one now, Dr. Jens' session. Please stay on stage. He'll be joined by our CEO, Fazal Bahardin, as they talk about the Asian Outbound Traveler Behavior Handbook. Dr. Nurhafihz, thank you. We'll see you both back up here later today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Raudha, and thank you to our panelists. What a rich, inspiring way to open the morning. I think we are all ready to learn and think big.